it was my anaesthetist actually, and she
was that?
yeah, so and I just didn't anticipate that, because I would have loved to, you know me, I would have loved to give birth in water listening to whale song. Like, that would have been yes, that would have been amazing. But yeah, that wasn't to be. And so yeah, I hadn't anticipated having that kind of emotional support, and that this incredible woman was monitoring every little tiny detail of what was going on with my body and keeping me well and safe physically. Also had the space to be emotionally there for me. And there were little moments like when, after she was born and they took her aside to weigh her and everything, and David was with her and cutting the cord and all of this, I was suddenly like, oh God, I'm by myself. And I felt really like, and next minute Georgie's there with my hand, and she was like, I was going to make some notes, but I'm not. I'm just going to stay with you. Let's chat, and she was just there. So yeah, there's this photo of her, just David's got my head and she's holding my hand, and I felt like I had a right-hand woman, and I'll never forget that as long as I live.
This is it, isn't it? It's totally the team around you that make the difference. You hear people when they say, I really like the job, but I just don't like the people. Or I really hate the job, but they love the people, which is why I've stayed there for 20 years, right? It is all down to your kind of like your crew. And I suspect that there'll be many people who don't surround themselves with the right team, and they don't ask the right people the right questions at the right time for the right support, and therefore it may lead them to be lonelier than they want to be. And again, that can come down to low self-esteem and low confidence. So if anybody's struggling with low self-esteem or low confidence, they'll probably seek out somebody who will endorse their feelings rather than enable them to work through them. So if they're feeling bad about themselves, they'll probably say something to them that make them feel even worse. Because they want to be justified. So they've chosen that person into their life because their low self-esteem means that they're wanting them to be, they want their feelings of hurt and upset and worry and to be justified by somebody else. So, if you are that type of person, then you need to start looking at your circle of friends, and to write down who will actually be your support line, your person who's your Georgie. Is it Georgie?
Yeah.
Hold your hand when you're feeling alone, right? Who will be that person? It may be a surprise. It might not be the person that you normally reach out to, and to kind of take that confident step to be able to ask them for the help that you need. And most people will help you. So look at your support team. Are they really as supportive as you think they are? And if they're not, kick them to the curb because you don't need them right now. Okay, get rid and bring somebody else in to help. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, you haven't made it to the live round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolute dog. Well, it's true, isn't it? We don't need that right now. The thing is, in normal times, we'd probably put up with it because, we're not in the time of crises. We're in a time of crises now. We need the best crew on the bloody boat, right? We're not carrying people. We haven't got time to carry people. And if you're carrying somebody who's not making you or helping and supporting you to feel your best at this time, then they're off the boat. They're not in the team. Just for now.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Is that hard?
And Ali, do you when I remember when we say when people have a baby and then they're inundated with all these people, and sometimes they just want a bit of a break, so you kind of tend to go, well, I'll leave them for a little bit. Do you find that you're inundated with people calling you and like FaceTiming, or not enough, or just about right? Or because I was thinking, should we be making more effort to reach out to our friends that have had babies and not checking in on them, but actually just providing some adult conversation, a different face? And
it's a really good point, actually. I'm trying to think how to answer it. I think almost it's like you were saying, Sally, it's interesting who bubbles up as your support that you didn't even realise were there necessarily, that have actually been championing you from the sidelines all along. And so I found it's certainly really strengthened some of my existing friendships. I'm trying to think. One thing, I suppose, just again being honest, I've noticed that some friends, it just changes friendship. I think when you have a baby and we were all at different sort of points in our lives and everything. And I look back to say a few years ago, and I went through a summer of, because I'm kind of late to the party with getting married and having a baby-ish, kind of late-ish, but not really these days. But I, you know, one summer got a phone call every week from a different friend saying, oh, I'm having a baby, I'm having a baby, having a baby. And I was like, oh, great, great. Totally started to run out of yay by the end of the summer. And deep down, because I, you know, I knew that part of me really was ready and wanted that. And, you know, all complicated. What am I trying to say? That I think sometimes I distance myself from those friends for a little while, because I thought there wasn't really a seat at the table for me then, because their life had moved on and they were in a different space. And now I'm in that boat. I feel like, no, all of my friends, you know, represent different aspects of my life and different aspects of myself and parts of me that I don't want to let go of. And, you know, I want to keep all of those friendships. And so I just say, if you're a friend of somebody who's had a baby and you feel a bit like, oh, she won't want to chat because she's busy doing everything else, like she's probably dying to hear from you and to sit and have a glass of wine over, you know, FaceTime and talk about other things. So, you know, don't not do it. There's always a seat at the table.
Yeah, you don't always want us to talk about mastitis.
No.
You know, we'll be there saying, yeah, man, my boobs just like spurt all over the place in the shower.
It's about my boobs, right?
Can I ask something, Ali? So have you managed to, like, when I've got 2 children, and I know when I had them, I kind of probably by, is it about week 8, did you say it is now?
Sorry, so week 8. Yeah, she's 8 weeks tomorrow.
So
yeah.
I know in the first few weeks, obviously, it's just never came out of my pajamas and just had no routine whatsoever. But I know that for me, I had to create a loose routine. So I'd like go to a class on a Tuesday, or I'd get up and go for a walk at this time, see my mum. How have you managed to create some kind of routine of your own in this situation?
It's kind of interesting for us because we're both actors and probably just in our nature as well, I'm a little bit allergic to routine, and I'm quite used to free fall, like free form life, and okay, you need to be here then, that, you know, at this time, and blah, 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 and constantly making it all up as I go along. And with Isla now, we're finding that just little things are dropping into place, that it's just kind of, she sets the pace. And actually, even though she's only 8 weeks, there is a little bit of a rhythm forming at the moment, which will probably all change in 5 minutes. But I'm actually quite enjoying that and just kind of following her lead a bit. And yeah,
I think that's quite nice, because I think that when I have mine, I think I'm not that much into a routine usually. I'm quite like laid back, but I felt the pressure to be in a routine. So right. I don't know, like I felt like, oh, everyone's going to these classes and everyone's going to do this. So I did it more, I think, looking back for that reason. Whereas if you in this situation, if there's no pressure like that, that's quite a nice way of looking at it.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know exactly how I'd be functioning right now if we were also trying to exist in the world. Like, I feel like we're in just this little cocoon, and I haven't had to try to coordinate, you know, life and getting out of the house and going to a class and doing all of this stuff. So I don't really know how it's going to feel. They're doing baby yoga over there, which is very cute. You can hear all the giggling. But yeah, it's interesting for us, because I think we felt like when I was pregnant, we talk about it, be like, shit, we're gonna have to get a routine. Like, how are we gonna do this? But I'm quite enjoying it actually, and I think probably just we're letting her set the pace, but then we just think with the little anchors, you just start to find little anchors in the day, and yeah, it's just all helps. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yes, yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it, how we set our expectations again by what we think everybody else is doing, and wherefore what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Actually, we should be doing what exactly how we feel is right for us, and letting that expectation go, which is hard, but it's true. You know, I had friends in my pregnancy who read every single parenting book. I mean, they had it all down. I didn't read one, you know, and that was because I didn't want it. I didn't want it. Not, you know, I didn't want to have that expectation. It was I but truly believed in my own ability to mother, I can do this. And I know it's a privilege, but I thought, no, I can freaking do this. I'm rowed the Atlantic, goddammit. I can look after a child. It doesn't make it any easier. It doesn't make it any easier. But
I had one parenting book that shall remain nameless, that all I've managed to do is spill about, I don't know, 150 mils of breast milk on it, and just could have cried. That's it. God, that's the worst feeling, when you've like expressed and then it suddenly hits this has happened quite a few times, like milk overboard. Devastating.
Especially when it's taking hours to get just like that much.
I know. I did cry one day and I was like, I've got one drawer that's always a little bit open, and I've managed to offload about 3 cups of friggin' breast milk straight into that drawer. It's just such a weird thing to do, but it keeps happening.
So I'm working on this new project, and it's called Calm Baby, and it's to support women with their anxiety in pregnancy. And the one thing we've discovered with working with psychotherapists is that we learn through storytelling. And the thing that I find really tough about self-help books is they're not stories, they're just actions that you should be taking. So, to caveat I didn't read any books, right? I would suggest if you're a book reader, then read books. But if that's not your go-to place, then find stories. And the best way to find stories is to ask people who've had children, right? What did you do? Well, how did you get on? Because then you pick up what you want to pick up and you drop what you don't drop. When you have a book, it feels like you should be actioning everything because it's telling you, because they're an expert, right? But we are all, experts in our own way, in lots of different ways. And actually, if we just listen to those stories, we'll take what we need from them. And that's the bit that I think many mothers, new mothers in particular, are missing out on now, is the opportunity to sit and share stories with with women who are in the same situation as them. So, if you are missing out on that, then try and find new mothers to kind of fill in those stories so that you can learn from their experiences and they can learn from you. Talk to people who had babies, because, I'm 3 years in, but I can share a whole load of stuff about with Floss. It doesn't go away. And just don't be in a silo. Go and find stories instead of books. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's nice. Definitely. I think it's so powerful, listening to other people and other women's stories.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we love TV so much, right? Because, TV's not telling us what to do. TV's telling us a story, and then when we take those things from that, we see people playing out their characters and their actions that they're taking, and we learn from their experiences vicariously. We see what they've done and go, oh, that's interesting, because I felt a bit like that last week. That's why things like Hollyoaks and EastEnders and all those sorts of kind of programs are so popular, because we are seeing and learning through other people's experiences and learning new stuff.
That's nice. That's nice done, isn't it? To make you feel good about it, what we're doing.
Yeah, that's absolutely, absolutely. We're learning through experiences, not through books. That's where you should go to bed at 3 o'clock. Oh, sorry.
Are there some links that you can share? Sally just said there's some links you could share with us, Sally, then for Calm Baby.
We're still only working on it, but you can definitely go to it's called Elk Calm Baby on Instagram. So they're doing some Instagram stuff, especially this week with Maternal Mental Health Week. And obviously through the Active Pregnancy Foundation, I'll be posting to that as well, so you can follow us there. But they're a partner that we're working with specifically in around mental health.
Okay, great. Well, Sarah's just texted me. She's gone. So
she gone? I didn't realise she disappeared. I couldn't see her face. Where'd she go?
Yeah, she's gone. Her connection's gone and it won't let her reconnect, she said.
I saw her face freeze.
Yeah.
I saw her face freeze. I just thought she was really intrigued in what you're saying.
Yeah.
I realised she had moved.
It was a good face freeze. Most of the time, my face freeze, it's like...
Yeah.
She was on the other screen, so I didn't see her. Oh.
Yeah, so she's gone. But so I just wanted to thank you both, Ali and Sally, for coming on and talking to us today. And we'll share some of those links that you've mentioned. So the NHS line that you mentioned, Ali, that you found really helpful, and also the links you mentioned, Sally, if anybody is struggling and wants to reach out, and if anybody watching this wants to ask any other questions, we'll all be tagged in the post on IGTV, so please feel free to answer any questions that pop up. But thank you very much, and
thank you.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.